ethnographic research, I studied my experience consuming news on two different platforms. The first being TV, CTV News at 5, and the other being social media on my phone using Twitter.
For Twitter, I would look at it honestly pretty frequently throughout the day, just for a couple of minutes, but the one time that I got really good field notes was whenever I was consuming news on Twitter for about 30 minutes. For the television news, I would do that for about an hour in the evening. For television, it would be around dinner time at 5 with my parents and my sister in the living room with us as we eat dinner, and we'd watch the news together, and we would talk about our opinions, catch up throughout the day. And for Twitter, it would just be me alone in a living room looking at it with the attendance of some of my cats. So I participated as an audience member due to my desire for wanting to know lots of information, know what's going around me. Checking the news on Twitter, there was a lot of different things that I saw. So there was lots of different stories. The section News for You was personalized for stories that Twitter thinks that I would like to see, so that was interesting. And there's different categories where you can swipe for sports, celebrities, etc. On the TV, I saw a lot of also different stories. I saw some serious stories, some more lighthearted stories. So basically on both platforms, I saw a large variety of different stories that were very diverse. Twitter, I would feel really agitated when I saw people posting about their opinions on stories that were very uneducated, but they talked with a lot of confidence.
I also felt free because on Twitter I could read anything I want when I wanted, but I also felt distracted by all the notifications and different content that would sway me away from the news. On television, I felt intrigued and entertained by CTV. That being said, I was annoyed by some repetition. I would feel a bit stressed if my parents would be talking and I'd be trying to listen to them, but at the same time, you can't really rewind the news on my television. So for what I heard, when I was consuming news on Twitter, I heard in my environment my cat snoring. I heard the air conditioning. I heard the videos of the news stories that would play as I scrolled down the feed. For television, I would hear my parents discussing how stories affect them and their opinions. News. While on Twitter, I thought that the feed was very interesting. I thought it was user-friendly, and I really liked that it was personalized to me and my tastes. I liked having the freedom to change stories if I want and look at what I want when I want. That being said, I was annoyed by constantly being distracted. I was also continuously cautious of the source who posted the tweet to see if what they were saying is credible. For TV, I was left with a lot of questions unanswered. For example, why did the guy get shot? It just didn't really go that deep into what I wanted to know. It was also very easy to get distracted while watching the news on television, especially if I wasn't interested in a specific story. So for what I learned. I learned that on both platforms there is a lot of distractions, but each platform has their different type of distractions and that distract you in a different way. The distractions on Twitter was more notifications, as well as due to the easy accessibility, I would procrastinate, and that since I thought that I could always go on it whenever I wanted, so I didn't have to feel rushed to do it there and then. Whereas while watching the news on television, the distractions were more my parents talking and external factors.
Credibility, I learned that Twitter has a lot better credibility than I thought.
It's very easy to find out if they are a credible source or not by simply going on their profile and seeing who they work for, or just simply seeing the verification logo.
I found that this research project was important to me because I got to see the different benefits and negatives that each platform offers.
For example, if I want to know in-depth information about a news story, I would go on Twitter, because TV news was more surface level than that of Twitter, where you have more resources available to you.
And I just think that it was important for me to understand why I like each, because there are benefits to both. And I just thought this was important to understand how different sources can be used by different people for different reasons and obtaining different information. And yeah.